Hello.
Hello, Gail.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the 30 fan theories from horror movies that were either confirmed by the filmmakers or the movie itself. There will be some major spoilers ahead, so a spoiler warning is in effect.
Come on, man, the little guys with the big eyes. Yep, there's lots of theories.
Number 30, it's a setup. The cabin in the woods.
So you want to come over Monday night? I'm going to pick up some power drills, liberate my cabinets. Are you even listening to me?
A clever subversion of the classic Cabin in the Woods movie, the Cabin in the Woods, is all about one big setup. You see, these scientist guys lure teenagers to a fake cabin and then sick all sorts of creepy monsters on them in an effort to kill them, harvest their blood, and satiate subterranean demons, as you do. While the extent of the twist wasn't guessed beforehand, people correctly assumed that it was all a setup. There are numerous shots in the trailer showing some type of lab, and that, combined with the very tropey nature of the story, had some correctly deducing that not all was as it seemed.
They have to choose to ignore him, and they have to choose what happens in the cellar. Yeah, we rig the game as much as we need to, but in the end, they don't transgress.
They can't be punished.
Number 29, it's a simulation. Don't worry, darling.
Do you consent to the physical and medical requirements for entry to victory?
Yes.
While it's more of a psychological thriller, Don't Worry Darling still contains some disturbing imagery and follows many classic horror movie tropes. It's very Black Mirror, and that includes the presence of outlandish technology, including simulations. We learn that Alice is a modern woman living in an idealistic simulation of the 1950s. Once again, this twist was correctly guessed beforehand by many people, based solely on the evidence in the trailer. In fact, the movie received a middling reception, with many people criticizing its too obvious twist. A twist we all knew was coming, and one that the movie was way too late in introducing.
Welcome to the Victory Project. There are currently 72 active users. Your re-entry has begun.
Number 28, the Candyman Hive. Candyman.
So, he's real? Bell is real. Samuel, Sherman, Daniel Robitaille, they're all real. Candyman is how we deal with the fact that these things happened. That they're still happening.
What if Daniel Robitaille wasn't the only Candyman? This is what some fans have been theorizing for years, and the answer was finally given in the 2021 requel. This movie had a fresh cast of characters and a modern setting, and it was also co-written by Jordan Peele, who loves him some social commentary. Add the two together, and fans were theorizing that the Candyman legend could actually relate to some type of social justice theme. This theory was confirmed through the Candyman Hive, which is where the souls of murdered black men go to be reincarnated as vengeful killers. Daniel is seemingly the figurehead of this collective hive, as evidenced by the resurrected Anthony morphing into him at the end of the film.
Hello, everyone.
Number 27, Imposters, The Visit.
It's definitely some sort of late onset schizophrenia. They're both in bad shape.
Great! Our pop-up has schizophrenia, and our Nana becomes Michael Myers when the sun goes down.
Hey look, another trailer, another twist we all correctly theorized. M. Night Shyamalan is known for his wild stories, but this one is refreshingly simple. Some kids go to visit their grandparents, and Nana and Pop Pop sure are acting weird. Unfortunately, simple stories tend to breed simple twists, and this had to be one of Shyamalan's easiest. Once again, people theorized from the trailer that Nana and Pop Pop were imposters, and, well, yep, that's exactly what they were. The elder couple are actually escaped patients from the psychiatric hospital in which the real grandparents worked, having assumed their identities after murdering them.
Becca, Tyler, babies. I need you to listen to me very carefully. Becca, Tyler, just listen to me.
We are.
Those aren't your grandparents.
Number 26, a co-conspirator, Saw 2.
I'm gonna ask you again, how do you know all this?
Because I've played before.
The first Saw was a simple enough movie, but like most sequels, Saw 2 ramped up the production values. Rather than a decrepit bathroom, this one takes place in a massive house and involves numerous elaborate traps, not to mention a side plot going on with Detective Matthews. The first movie established that Jigsaw was sick, and in this film he can barely stand. Naturally, many theorize that the killer had an accomplice, as he couldn't possibly have done all this by himself. And wouldn't you know it, it was the woman from the first movie. In the climax, Amanda reveals that she has been working with Jigsaw ever since her first game, and that she has helped him set up the elaborate test.
It is I who will carry on John's work after he dies.
Daniel!
So go ahead. Destroy him.
And you
Daniel!
are my first test subject.
Number 25, Incarnation of God, Shin Godzilla.
どういう意味だ? 一つだけヒットしました。元教授の故郷の大戸島で神の化身を意味する言葉だそうです。
No one really knows where the name Gojira came from, but it's widely thought to be a portmanteau of the Japanese words gorira, meaning gorilla, and kujira, meaning whale. Yep, Godzilla is a gorilla whale. When the title was translated to English, it morphed from Gojira to Godzilla, and many people thought that it meant God Lizard, or something to that effect. This in keeping with the movie's themes of divine retribution, as Godzilla serves as a warning against nuclear war. This theory was confirmed, or at least acknowledged, in the 2016 film Shin Godzilla. Shin can translate to new, true, or even, you guessed it, God. This is also confirmed in movie by Patterson, who explicitly refers to Godzilla's divine origins.
Godzilla. まさに神の化身ね。
Number 24, Teddy is a patient, Shutter Island.
Which would be worse? To live as a monster? Or to die as a good man?
The twist ending of Shutter Island is often praised, but some people nailed it solely from the trailer. So here's the deal. A detective goes to an isolated psychiatric hospital to inquire about a missing patient. These types of mysterious remote location movies almost always have a twist, so viewers were already on edge. Furthermore, the trailer shows Teddy having visions and suffering from some type of delusion. There are also numerous shots of a blonde-haired woman and a child, including one where the woman disappears, one where they're engulfed in fire, and one where Teddy is screaming over a body. Put them all together and you've guessed the twist. Teddy is the patient, having murdered his wife after she drowned their children.
My name's Andrew Latis. And I murdered my wife in the spring of '52.
Number 23, Resurrection Gone Wrong, Puppet Master 2.
Where you been all this time, Cheney?
In Bucharest, endeavoring to do something about this.
This franchise has a weird chronology, with the third, fourth, and fifth movies serving as prequels to the first and second. In the latter, the titular puppet master, Andre Toulon, is reanimated by Pinhead and walks around in the guise of Enrique Chenet. He is violent and murderous in this film, which contrasts highly with his characterization in the prequels. This led many fans to believe, as is often the case in horror, his resurrection went wrong and he came back different. This was finally confirmed in the Puppet Master comic books, a canonical series made by Action Lab Comics between 2015 and 2018.
You, Torch. You will deal with his burning desires in a most appropriate way.
Number 22, Norman killed the ghost. What lies beneath?
You had an affair with a girl who killed herself, and now she's trying to hurt you.
If you learn one thing from this list, it's that you shouldn't watch trailers for horror movies. The marketing for What Lies Beneath makes it seem like a simple haunted house story, only with one major twist. A twist that the trailer essentially revealed. It makes explicitly clear that Norman ended an affair. The woman took her own life, and her ghost is now haunting Norman out of vengeance. It straight up tells us that. Yes, it leaves out the detail that Norman actually killed her, but this twist was instantly theorized by virtually everyone who saw the trailer. The film ended up receiving mediocre reviews, with many critics calling out its painfully obvious story beats.
You have no idea what it was like. Hold her underwater. Watch your life slip away.
Number 21, Alien and Blade Runner share a universe. Alien and Blade Runner.
So what?
We're obligated under Section
I hate to bring this up,
But this is a commercial ship, not a rescue ship.
How much do Easter eggs and director statements matter to the established lore of a franchise? If they're highly regarded, then it's a fact that Alien and Blade Runner exist within the same universe, a theory that fans have suggested for years. They both share themes of dystopia and artificial intelligence, and they both have established interspace colonies. Furthermore, Easter eggs seemingly connect the two franchises, including an identical computer screen shared by Ripley and Gaff, and the Alien DVD confirms that Dallas once worked for Tyrell. Finally, Scott confirmed the connection in his Blade Runner commentary, claiming that the alien crew might live in the same city as Deckard.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
Number 20, The Thing has no true form. The Thing. As you surely know, The Thing's key feature is its ability to mimic any form of life it assimilates. This led fans of the 1982 classic to wonder what it would look like if stripped of all of its glamours, if anything. Director Mateusz van Hijnen Jr. answered this one question by claiming it's less like an actual creature and more like a virus.
It's like a virus. So what do we do with any virus?
Quarantine. We isolate it, and then we kill it.
Sure, we prefer info from the OG maestro John Carpenter, but he's been deliberately cagey about details, saying that he knows who the Thing is at the end of his film, but that we never will.
If you're worried about me...
If we've got any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it.
Number 19, Nope is about aliens. Nope. Since Get Out, Jordan Peele movies have inspired endless analyses and theories, even when they have yet to be released. Promotional materials have loved to tease in this way too, with the first posters featuring certain motifs. While the first one for Us showed a character holding a pair of scissors, Nope's poster only gave us a cloud with a kite tail to go off of. With story details pending, fans immediately began to speculate that inside that cloud was an unidentified flying object.
Okay, or maybe you're in a UFO hotspot.
No one believes in that.
Sure enough, the movie ended up featuring just such a UFO, only no one could have predicted its true beastly nature. Number 18, Sydney and Mark got together. Scream 3. Sydney Prescott has not had the best of luck with relationships, even though she deserves a happily ever after. She finally got it, but we didn't know about it for some time. In Scream 3, the franchise's final girl seems to have some chemistry with LAPD detective Mark Kincaid, but nothing is explicitly stated or acted upon.
What's your favorite scary movie?
My life.
Mark's last scene in the film's epilogue, getting chummy with the gang, leaving fans to wonder if this is only in a friendly capacity or something more. When it seemed like no sequel would ever be acknowledged, the fifth entry, 22 years later, finally confirmed that Sydney and Mark were not only married, but had kids.
Do we? Oh my God, how long has it been? Oh, I'm just trying to get a run-in before I take the girls to school. How are you?
I'm good, really good. How are you? How's Mark?
I think I'll keep him.
Now, what are the odds of getting McDreamy back on a Scream set? Number 17, Michael Bay's shared universe, Friday the 13th, and Transformers franchise. This one's a little tenuous, so bear with us. As many will know, Michael Bay directed the first live-action Transformers movie. As less will know, he also produced several horror remakes, including 2009's Friday the 13th. What both films share is actor Travis Van Winkle, who plays characters named Trent in each.
So you don't want to be friends after this? You don't want to hang out?
Let it go, Trent.
It's not me. This guy's being a dick.
Granted, the characters have different last names in novelizations and deleted scenes, which will let you decide if it's a canon killer. But the characters' same jerky attitude has led many to believe they're one and the same.
Why doesn't my little bunny just hop in the back seat?
Oh God, I can't even tell you how much I'm not your little bunny.
Several publications have reported on Bay confirming this, but the primary source seemingly can't be found. Still, Michaela was right to dump him, else she too end up at Crystal Lake. Number 16, Midsummer is a fairy tale. Midsummer. This one delves more into themes than plot dynamics, but remains fascinating all the same. Ari Aster's visually arresting film Midsummer follows Dani, a young woman who suffers the tragic loss of her family in the opening minutes. She later joins her boyfriend and his pals on a trip to Sweden, where they study and ingratiate themselves into a pagan cult. Things, of course, don't go well, as Dani's friends are killed before she's crowned the May Queen.
You are our May Queen.
Me? Yes. Why?
You won!
What does that mean?
Early viewings had many likening it to themes of old-school fairy tales, and it wasn't long before Aster shared the same sentiment. Now that it's a fairy tale, there's only one thing to do: wait for the Disney version. Number 15, Clover is a deep-sea creature. Cloverfield. The Cloverfield franchise has embraced mystery, even going back to the first film's marketing campaign. Naturally, being a found-footage POV movie, Cloverfield focuses more on the characters' first-person experiences in the monster attack, and less on creature backstory and exposition. This prompted fans to come up with their own explanations, like Clover being from outer space, but this was denied by producer J.J. Abrams. Rather, the alternate theory, that it came from the Atlantic Ocean after being awakened by humans, was confirmed in supplemental material.
So what, it's been down there this whole time and nobody noticed?
Sure. Maybe it erupted from an ocean trench, you know? Or a crevasse. Crevice. It's just a theory. I mean, for all we know, it's from another planet and it flew here.
Abrams also confirmed that this Clover was a baby, which explains why the one seen in the Cloverfield paradox is so much bigger. Number 14, Kill Count. Scream 6. This isn't the first Scream entry, and it won't be the last. While beforehand not a constant, it seemed like the franchise had gotten comfortable with having 2 killers per film.
There are always 2 killers.
But upping the count to 3 has been a popular theory for each sequel, so it makes sense that the fans would eventually be right. While Scream 2 originally went this way before a script leak forced them to pivot, it finally happened in Scream 6, when it's revealed the Bailey family is behind the killings in New York City.
You did this as a family?
Hell yeah, bitch. You should know better than anyone.
They're still not getting it.
Look, I don't know what you believe, but I didn't commit those murders in Woodsboro. It wasn't me.
Oh, we know that. Of course you didn't. What do you think this is based on? Some bullshit conspiracy theory?
Technically speaking though, you could count 4 killers if you include Jason from the film's opening.
Now I see something red.
Number 13, Jason is a deadite. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Again, this is just one sequel director's interpretation, but it still counts for this list.
Well, I was actually referring to your claim that Jason Voorhees is not truly dead.
What you think of as Jason is not Jason. That body he's wearing, that's just meat. That boy knows how to dress.
In the 9th Friday the 13th film, Jason Goes to Hell, spotted can be the Necronomicon, aka the Book of the Dead, along with the Kandarian dagger from the Evil Dead franchise. It's just an Easter egg, but according to director Adam Marcus, it's an entire explanation. His reasoning for Jason's evil and undead nature stems from Mrs. Voorhees reading from the book to bring her son back to life. Whether you believe this or not, it did reportedly get the approval of Evil Dead creator Sam Raimi. And like as not, the closest to an actual crossover we'll get is the comic book miniseries Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash.
Groovy.
Number 12, Predators Breed Aliens. Alien vs. Predator. Sure, the AVP movies exist firmly in their own branch of the universe, but it undeniably answers a few questions regarding the 2 species. In Predator 2, fans noticed a trophy xenomorph skull aboard the Yaoja ship. Given the animalistic nature of the former and hunting nature of the latter, this essentially confirmed that one species preyed on the other. But some fans speculated it went deeper than that. Given that xenomorph breeding can be a controlled process, some thought that the predators might have been doing so for the express purpose of hunting them. Sure enough, the first crossover movie reveals they've been doing this for thousands of years, with human incubators no less.
Every 100 years, the gods would return. And when they did, they would expect a sacrifice. Humans were used to breed the ultimate prey.
Whether the predators created the xenomorphs outright is a whole other theory. Number 11, time travel. The Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project is a film better left ambiguous, but what are you going to do when sequels come along? With a few details given regarding the first film's actual plot, some fans have come to the conclusion that the three characters were transported back to the 1940s by the titular witch before coming across Rustin Parr's cabin.
Finally, one day, old Mr. Parr come down into the market and said, "I'm finally finished."
It's a little complicated to fully explain here, but the manipulation of time is at least confirmed in the 2016 sequel, simply titled Blair Witch. In it, the main characters separate in the woods before reuniting, only there's significant disagreement in how long it's been.
When was the last time you saw us?
Earlier this afternoon. I'm not lying.
It's been 5 days since we saw you.
Since the existence of the witch is also seemingly confirmed, so too is its ability to manipulate one's perception of time. Number 10, A Different Death, Pet Sematary. When you're remaking a well-known horror movie, you often want to stay within the general confines of the original, but tweak a few small details to keep things fresh. With this in mind, fans foresaw a way that 2019's Pet Sematary could make the classic story its own.
Don't let him go in the road, Lewis!
Get him, Lewis! Get the baby! Get the baby!
In the Stephen King novel and the 1989 adaptation, toddler Gage Creed is tragically killed by a speeding truck, and his father Lewis revives him in the mystical grounds past the titular cemetery. Trouble is, nothing comes back the same. Seeing as Gage has an older sister, Ellie, in every version, fans figured it might be interesting if she was the one who turned. This was confirmed when the second trailer for the remake was released.
Great and terrible.
Number 9, Michael Myers is Cursed, Halloween franchise. The 80s were inundated with seemingly unkillable slashers, most of them of the silent, lumbering variety. While fans are naturally going to come up with a slew of explanations, this 1995 sequel may be proof that some things are better left to the imagination.
For years I've been convinced there must be some reason, some method behind Michael's madness, and the common link I found is Thorn.
In The Curse of Michael Myers, the producer's cut anyway, it revealed that the titular villain was actually inducted into the Cult of Thorn, whereby he's imbued with supernatural abilities and the drive to kill his family to ensure prosperity for the community.
Michael, your final sacrifice.
Michael, you can make him stop it.
It's honestly bad storytelling whatever way you slice it, but thankfully, this is just one of the multiple Halloween continuities, so you're not beholden to it if you still want to enjoy the franchise.
Wasn't it her brother who, cold-blooded mutilated all those teenagers?
No, that's just a bit that some people made up to make him feel better, I think.
Number 8, Kirbys Survival, Scream 4.
Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! 25! Stay alive!
Sorry,
Kirby.
The Scream franchise has so many fan-favourite characters that it became known for revealing at least one survivor sometime after the climaxes. However, one character's fate that was left up in the air for several years was Scream 4's Kirby Reed.
I know. It's okay, take your time. Doesn't happen as fast as it does in the movies, I know.
After being stabbed twice and left for dead by Charlie, it seemed likely she bled out before authorities arrived. Dewey later only informs Jill of Sydney's survival, but fans theorised that family confidentiality laws might have prevented him from mentioning Kirby.
What?
But I saw Trevor kill her.
Look, we don't know yet, but she's hanging on.
It seemed we'd never know when initial plans for sequels became shelved. But finally, 2022's Scream confirmed her survival with a subtle Easter egg. Hayden Panettiere then reprised the role in Scream 6, only her survival this time is much more definite.
Oh my god, did you hear that? I'm gonna be next.
Number 7, Get Out is a sequel to Being John Malkovich. Get Out.
I know. Okay, look, I'm trying to work towards this. Look, what I'm about to tell you gonna sound crazy. You ready?
Sorry. Try me.
Okay, this one is almost too ludicrous to actually be true, but when the creator confirms it, can we really argue?
Can I be anybody that I want to be?
Well, actually...
You can be John Malkovich.
It's perfect. It's my second choice, but it's wonderful.
This theory stems from the movie's inclusion of shared actor Catherine Keener. Supposedly, Keener plays the same character who, after having experience managing a business whereby people can enter and control the mind of John Malkovich, takes on a new identity and teams with the elders to shake things up. She marries into the Armitage family, who has experience with neurosurgery, and together they're able to perfect the process and start importing people into black bodies on a wide scale.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Ludicrous, yes, but Get Out creator Jordan Peele has been quoted as saying, "As far as I'm concerned, it's true." So, there you go.
And don't ever say that I don't do nothing for you.
Number 6, Richie is gay. It. This theory actually goes all the way back to the original Stephen King novel.
Hey Eddie, these are birth control pills?
Yeah, and I'm saving it for your sister. This is private stuff.
Readers inferred Richie Tozier's playful ribbing of Eddie Kaspbrak as being more than friendly, even though King didn't intentionally write it that way. The theory resurfaced in 2017 with the advent of the first theatrical adaptation.
Are you serious?
Doesn't smell like caca to me, senor.
Okay, I can smell that from here. It's probably just your breath wafting back into your face.
With the release of 2019's It Chapter 2, Richie's sexuality was indeed confirmed. Not only that, but it all but solidified the notion that Richie indeed had feelings for Eddie prior to the latter's death.
Who stabbed Bowers with a knife he pulled out of his own face? Also me. Who married a woman 10 times his own body mass? Me. Yeah. You're braver than you think.
Though King's been known to criticise major changes in his adaptations, he actually approved of the official inclusion, calling the added character detail kind of genius. It just goes to show that stories are constantly evolving, often for the better.
Be who you want to be. Be proud.
Number 5, Split takes place in the Unbreakable universe. Split. For many, the release of 2016's Split marked a return to form for writer-director M. Night Shyamalan. For some, they suspected beforehand that it was a backdoor sequel to 2000's Unbreakable.
I almost gave up hope. There were so many times I questioned myself. I killed all those people. But I found you.
While Split is at heart a standalone psychological thriller, the fact that it centers on a killer with dissociative identity disorder, with one personality able to alter physical makeup and imbue superhuman abilities, had people wondering.
This is so cool. Ah, ha, ha. They're gonna believe we exist now, right?
They're gonna have to.
Seeing as talks of a sequel to Shyamalan's grounded superhero movie Unbreakable were heating up around the same time, fans wondered if that and Split were one and the same. Thankfully, the secret was well kept for most audiences, so the appearance of Bruce Willis's David Dunn at the end remained a surprise.
This is like that crazy guy in the wheelchair that they put away 15 years ago. And they gave him a funny name, too. What was it?
Mr. Glass.
Number 4, Final Destination 5 is a prequel, Final Destination 5. You'd think a movie called Final Destination 5 would follow up the events of the first 4, but that's just what producers were counting on when they released it in 2011.
We all gotta get off.
What are you talking about?
The bridge is gonna collapse.
What?
We're all gonna die.
Though the movie goes through the motions of a regular Final Destination film, the final scene reveals it takes place in the year of 2000, and that the main protagonists are actually on the doomed Flight 180 from the original film.
Get on the plane! Get on the plane! You understand? Everybody just stay where you are.
What's all that about?
I have no idea.
It's a neat twist, and the movie surprisingly earned the highest marks of the franchise. Still, you can't keep deductive fans down, as this plot point became a popular theory online beforehand. By the time they saw the movie and noticed subtle clues like out-of-date license plates, they knew the reveal was imminent.
Oh my God!
Number 3, Lawrence Gordon became an accomplice. Saw. The Saw franchise saw 7 movies released every October between 2004 and 2010, but it wasn't until the supposed final chapter that the most long-standing question got answered. What happened to Dr. Gordon?
I'm gonna kill you, you sick asshole!
In one of the most shocking endings in movie history, the original Saw sees Gordon amputate his foot and crawl away in search of help. The idea of Gordon bleeding out seemed anticlimactic to fans, so his survival made the most sense. However, seeing as he'd need immediate medical attention and the fact that the bathroom never gets discovered led fans to believe he was helped by his very captors. And since Jigsaw recruits multiple victims, it made sense Gordon would join the team with a new lease on life. Sure enough.
Game over.
Number 2, Jesus Christ was an engineer. Prometheus. This revelation doesn't actually come about in the film itself, and it would frankly be quite crazy if it did, but it has been confirmed by director Ridley Scott all the same.
Can you imagine how disappointing it would be for you to hear the same thing from your creator?
I guess it's a good thing you can't be disappointed.
In this sci-fi/horror prequel to the Alien franchise, it's revealed that humanity was planted by a biologically similar extraterrestrial race known as the Engineers. About 2,000 years before the film's events, Engineers attempted to wipe out humanity, but failed to even make the trip to Earth.
How long's it been dead?
2,000 years, give or take.
Timeline-wise, fans theorise this was in conjunction with the days of Jesus Christ. Indeed, Scott later clarified that the attempted genocide would have been in response to humans crucifying an engineer emissary. But Scott later removed this detail for being a little too on the nose.
It is New Year's Day, the year of our Lord, 2094. My name is Elizabeth Shaw, last survivor of the Prometheus. And I'm still searching.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Jack Torrance is the reincarnated caretaker, The Shining.
Here's Johnny!
The Shining is one of those movies that transcends any one interpretation, perhaps even of its writer-director. But for the sake of this list, we'll defer to Stanley Kubrick's statements circa 1982.
Words of wisdom, Lloyd. Words of wisdom.
Though the film's classic status took time to develop, hardcore cinephiles were already dissecting it. In this case, some took Jack Torrance's appearance in a photograph taken at the Overlook in 1921 as an indication that he was a direct reincarnation of a previous caretaker.
I'm sorry to differ with you, sir.
But you are the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker.
While others infer other things, like Jack was instead absorbed into the hotel, Kubrick was actually a proponent of the reincarnation theory. While his take certainly holds more weight than others, we'll always love ruminating on multiple interpretations with this endlessly mystifying film. Did you personally think that any of these theories were true? Let us know in the comments below.
It's just a theory of mine.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.